Well, maybe you've been to her restaurant here in Tucson. Maybe you know her name. We are kicking off Hispanic Heritage Month today by celebrating one local chef who combines everything she loves about Tucson with everything that she loves about where she's from. She will be joining us live here this Friday. You won't want to miss that.
Yes, and many of you may have been looking up to the sky last night and wondering, what the heck is that? We got so many messages, people wondering if this is a UFO or not. Well, we'll tell you what it is coming up.
And U.S. automakers now officially moving forward with the strike overnight. So what they are asking for and what it could also mean for you here at home. Happy Friday, friends. Finally Friday. Thanks for joining us for this 13 plus. We all felt that because it's been a week.
There was a sigh of relief. Like,
yeah, it's just been awesome.
Exactly.
And I feel like that every week. So like Friday shouldn't be a huge relief. But thanks for joining us for this 13 plus FastCast. I'm Anna Orsini.
And I'm Carson Courier, and we have our very own First Alert forecaster, Allie Potter, here with us in the gorgeous blue dress.
oh, it's the Wildcats blue.
Oh,
You know, we
well,
have
it makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, Carson, where's yours?
Yeah.
Well, we're wearing purple today.
Well, good
For what
thing,
team? Go Washington.
Well, good thing they're not playing Washington.
That is a good,
Yeah.
yes.
UTEP, I don't think, what are their, I think their colors are
I think it was
Orange.
blue and orange.
something.
Orange.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, guess what? We are going to cheer on the Wildcats and bringing that sunshine today. Those temperatures, we'll get into your tailgating forecast in just a bit, though. Taking a live look right now, crystal clear conditions and temperatures. Not too bad right now. Still sticking with the 80s, 86 degrees in Tucson, 77 if you're in Safford, 88 for Marana, 86 for Nogales, 77 for Safford, 78 for our friends down in Bisbee. That radar is all dry. We are not tracking any type of rainy activity. A little bit of clouds if you're in Safford, but that's pretty much about it. And that's going to pretty much be the name of the game going into the weekend. That ridge of high pressure will greet us, though, come the weekend, bringing us back into that triple-digit range. But the good news is that low pressure system making its way off the coast of California will be passing through Arizona early next week, which means cooler temperatures. So enjoy the 90s because this weekend they are unfortunately going away. 98 degrees in Tucson, 89 if you're in Sierra Vista, 93 for Nogales, 91 in Douglas with lots of sunshine on tap for us. That 7-day forecast, triple digits making a return starting off the weekend, 100 degrees by your Saturday, 101 on Sunday. The 90s, though, here on Monday, 97 on Tuesday, 96 Wednesday, 95 on your Thursday. Keep in mind, though, our overnights are just awesome. You might even need a jacket for some, depending on how early you get up. So if you are going to go tailgating tomorrow, kickoff is actually at 8, so it's a late start for tomorrow, or a later kickoff for tomorrow. But of course, you have to tailgate, ladies, right?
You have to.
Hello.
If you're going to the game, why not?
Exactly. Or if you're not. I mean, you know, join in on the festivities. Why not? 100 degrees by 3 o'clock, though, 95 by 5. By kickoff, 84 degrees. So you know how it is. You're tailgating. Make sure to plan accordingly. Grab that umbrella, and not for the rain, it's more so because of the sun. And then, of course, lots of water, friends out there. Your kickoff, though, 84 degrees by 8 o'clock, 82 by 9, and by 10 o'clock this evening, or tomorrow evening, 80. So really comfortable as you enjoy the game. And the good news is those wind speeds really calm for those players, and of course, you in the stands.
Yeah. Good temperatures for the game. Before that, it's a little tough, but like you said, start hydrating now.
Right.
Put the sunscreen on. You'll be fine. People aren't new to this, so.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Game day, baby. Let's go.
Hey, and the first game day was much hotter, so we'll take this. This is a win.
Right.
And good thing the game wasn't last weekend either with 111. My goodness.
Yeah.
Woo.
I think that's kind of the theme right now. It's like, well, weather could be worse. It's not where we want it,
We're
but it could
positive
always be
for
worse.
this time of
Yeah,
year.
especially on a Friday, you have to be positive.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. Okay, well, thank you,
Awesome.
Allie.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much,
it.
Allie.
Well, whether it was emails, tweets, calls, all the things last night, we got a bunch of them. People wondering, what were they seeing up in the sky?
I mean, come on. If you actually saw it, it was huge, bright light, and no, it was not a UFO. I know our brains have been kind of wrapped around UFOs
There's
lately.
been so much UFO talk.
I
I don't
know.
know why recently. It's like we're going to tell you all the little dirty secrets about space, but that's not what was happening.
It was not a UFO. Sorry if you wish it was. It's actually an Alpha rocket from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. It's made by a company called Firefly Aerospace and is part of a mission for the U.S. Space Force. The mission is reportedly called Victus Nox, which means conquer the night in Latin.
Very cool. And I mean, if I saw that up in the sky, I didn't, but I'd be like, what is happening? We're being invaded. So that's what it was. That's the reason. But a lot of people reached out to us about that. So hopefully, if you haven't seen any of our stories on it this morning, that gives you some answers on what you were seeing last night. Another story we're following here at home today, one that a lot of people are talking about online. A person who is accused of killing 2 dogs here in Tucson is now in custody. He has been arrested. So taking a look at the video of who that suspect is, Cyrus Panos has been booked into the Pima County Jail. He's accused of killing his former roommate's dog, Hazel. He's also accused of killing the dog of an acquaintance who that woman says she found burned in her backyard. Police say that they believe that the 2 animal killings are connected. He now faces 2 counts of cruelty to an animal.
Yes, that is right. Now, today, a Tucson teen accused of killing an elderly man will be in court. It is 19-year-old Anthony Cruz, and he is facing a first-degree murder charge for the death of 72-year-old Thomas Perry. Perry was found near East Salrita Road and South Sonoita Highway last month. Cruz was arrested 2 days later. Of course, we'll keep you updated on what we learned today during his arraignment.
And following some business news here at home is something we talked about yesterday. And overnight, the U.S. auto workers officially went on strike. So that's a big story that we've been following today. Of course, wondering how this is going to impact not just the auto industry, but people here at home and car prices.
Really could have a huge impact here. Now, automotive industry leaders were unable to bridge the gap between union demands and what automakers were willing to pay. It's the first time in the union's 88-year history that workers have walked out on all 3 companies at the same time. If the strike lasts a long time, car prices across the country are expected to go up. Now, President Biden weighed in on the strike about an hour ago. We'll hear more from him coming up in our 2:30 FastCast.
And what you've all been waiting for today, it marks the start of
pressure.
Sorry, just to put it on you right off the bat. Well, today marks the start of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we have somebody very special here with us today to celebrate.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, all the culture and food. So if you haven't been to her restaurant, then you may not know. Maybe you've seen her on TV. Go ahead. We want you to introduce yourself because you're such a big name. Look,
I know.
Celebrity here with us today.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Chef Maria Maison, and I own Boca and Zona Tortillas. And yes, I happen to be on TV and cooking shows, but
So cool.
I love being here in Tucson, being from Tucson and being as Mexican as a tortilla.
I love it.
I mean, that's who I am. Born here, raised in Sonora, Mexico. Came back here for college, high school, college. Wasn't my cup of tea. So I decided
That's
to
okay.
go in the industry.
There you go.
And 20-some years later, I'm talking to you, fancy people.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about, because I have family who work in the food and restaurant industry. It's not an easy industry to get into. And so tell us about the moment that you kind of fell in love with food and you're like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
It's one of the most difficult industries, but the most rewarding industries. I started waitressing, and then that gave me another perspective. And then I have ADHD, and then one time I jumped in the kitchen by mistake, and then I felt calm. And I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And I love the chaos, and then I'm an organized, chaotic person, but the kitchen, the bus and like everything calms me down. So that's when I said, okay, I can do this. And then I opened Boca on Speedway. I don't know if you were here in Tucson or young enough. You were too young.
remember it.
You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I took actually the spot, the first, it was an iconic first chain restaurant here in Tucson. So I took over, and I knew it was going to be momentarily. The U of A it was growing. So I moved to 4th Avenue, and here I am.
So tell us a little bit about how you combine your culture with food and kind of incorporate that into your flavors here at home.
I mean, I don't have to. That's who I am. Like, I'm Mexican.
Exactly.
People think because I'm Mexican, the cuisine, I chose the cuisine chose me.
Exactly.
So you can be Mexican and cook, Asian
Italian,
food or whatever,
Yeah.
but I fell in love with the intricacy of the cuisine. People think here in the United States that it's Mexican American. Now I learned there's 3 types of cuisine. So it's Mexicana, the way that I grew up eating it, Mexican American, the way, people here in the United States eat it,
Yeah.
and Tex-Mex. I don't
Okay.
mess with Texas, so I leave that alone.
I love that. Okay.
So that's it. It's I wanted to elevate the Mexican cuisine in my own way, and also be creative, give it my twist,
Yeah.
but always respect where I'm from.
Exactly. And I think it's so important to mention, yes, it is Hispanic Heritage Month, the first day, in
Yes.
fact. But how important is it that we really just honor the Hispanic heritage year round? It's not just from,
That's the key.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the key. It's you have to be proud of who you are and where you came from. Great grandparents or whatever. But we have to realize that Tucson was once Mexico.
Yeah.
So it feels like I sometimes don't see the border.
Yeah.
Like it feels a whole. I mean, we share the same sunset. It's one of the most beautiful sunsets, Sonora in Arizona. So to me, I say it proudly. I am a Mexican American. I represent both countries with honor. But everybody has a taco now on their menu. So us Latinos, we're doing something right, no?
Yeah, how do you set your food aside knowing that, though? Because there are a lot of options. So what do you do, I guess, to inspire you to make those flavors, make those menu items different?
It comes from the source. So I buy local, purchase local. Like I talk to every local butcher, vendor. Everybody has to be local, so the money stays here in Tucson. The importance of supporting local restaurants. That's where 70%, I learned that yesterday, 70% of all the restaurants in Tucson are local. So
That's amazing.
So
Yeah.
we leave the love here, but I purchase organic as much as my wallet allows. So you start with the product, and you have 50% of the battle won because you have a good product. So you just the vessel or put it into the plate and represent or do it or cook it your own way. Oh, never lose sense of who you are on a plate because it sells or because it's gonna make you money. I don't do that. I could, and I could be making money hands over fist, but that's not the point of creating food. I am proudly to be Mexican serving tacos and going to the platform that I did with Top Chef. They didn't know what a chiltepín was. I was carrying chiltepines. And I'm like, that's the mother chili of the world, but it happens to grow in Sonora in Arizona. So I love being who I am and represent who I am representing.
Now, I know here in the newsroom, we were talking a lot about your salsa flights
Yes.
and how good they are. What a great idea.
Well, that's one of the key, like when I opened 13 years ago, I said, okay, if I'm going to be the best taquera, I need to be the best taquera, but different.
Yeah.
So I was broke, of course. So I opened a restaurant. So I was at the local Mexican grocery store here, and they had bananas for, I believe, 32 cents a pound. And I said, I don't have money. I need to make this work somehow, somewhere. And the banana habanero salsa was born. And then I started playing with the salsas, and the only instrument that gave me a voice was a blender.
Okay.
So I have a blender tattoo here.
Oh, I love that.
Because that was like some people, on TV especially, they're like, I work under this person, this person, and I'm like, who do you work under? And I'm like, myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, myself, and
Me,
I.
myself,
is
and my
that,
blender.
though?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's now thanks to therapy. I said, thank you. Yes, it's cool. So I took that and I ran with it. In 13 years, I think I've made over 10,000 salsas. I have a book on the works. So
cool.
and my New York people are calling me and said, hurry up. So
Okay.
I'm doing 40 things at once. But yes, a cooking book is coming, and it's all celebrating the salsas, the sauces, that you can have a simple cut of meat.
Yeah.
And you have the perfect salsa sauce, and you're good to go.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So Hispanic Heritage Month, just circling back to that, because you kind of, you said you've embraced being Mexican American, that you have embraced your culture, but also being able to live here, kind of living the American dream. I mean, you said you started, which is crazy,
Yeah.
when you're sitting there and you're broke and you're like, you know what, it's a good idea, I'm going to go start a restaurant.
Yeah.
And like, it worked out for you. So what do you want to say to maybe the next generation of Mexican American kids who are coming up, especially, being in charge of your own business, being a woman, being from Mexico?
Exactly.
What do you, like, that is so much to overcome, and I think it's truly inspirational for people.
Well, thank you.
So what do you want them to know?
It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid all the time, because that's going to stop being comfortable. So when you're afraid, you want more and more and more. always be aware of your surroundings, in the sense, who do you say yes to? Who do you surround with, business partners, or, whatever. Always have in mind, do not sell yourself cheap. Always have in mind what you're worth, and never ever stop trusting your gut. I always, when people ask me, it's like, oh, I see myself as a duck, all cool and collected on the top, and always, running underwater. That's it. Do not stop believing in yourself, and be aware and be okay with criticism. That's going to make you, try harder and all that. But also, it's okay to feel insecure every once in a while, and just connect yourself with whatever you believe in, nature, whatever. Just do not take your eye off the ball, and sooner or later it will pay out. And if it doesn't, because it happens, do not stop believing in yourself. Like, it's, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, it's how many times you get up. Dust yourself up and keep going.
Yeah, I'm sure the first day it wasn't like, oh, doors open, we're gonna have a successful restaurant
5
right here.
years. They say in the restaurant business, you have to be open 1,000 days. Once you're open 1,000 days, you work all the kinks. Believe me, 5 years, all the kinks, and they still get kinks. I'm like, especially with technology.
Yeah.
I have a son, my 15, and I'm like, how do you turn this on?
Right.
I
do
love
it.
that.
And people are ordering online and wanting to do all those things
Exactly.
now. So yeah.
You're constantly learning.
Yes, and thank God I have young team members that they tell me, oh, it's okay, boss. It's okay. Are you sure? I still get lost.
They're
in
like, we'll handle the iPad.
Yes. And when I take orders,
Yeah.
I started as a waitress.
Yeah.
But I believe in the pad and paper. Like, paper never
Yeah.
lies.
Because then you can't forget it. Because
Yes.
I've worked in restaurants too, and I'm like, the people who go over there and they're like, oh no, I'll remember. I'm like, you always
No.
see them going back to the system, and they're like, gosh, what was it? And then you have to go back and do the walk of shame and ask
Thank
them.
you.
So,
Yeah. Do you want it onions?
yeah,
No onions?
just remind me again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we know the
the
line.
warden's like,
Yeah.
just, do you want anything, water? Like, remind me again. I'm like,
Just
oh,
wanted
you
to-
forgot.
Wanted to double check
Yes.
before I put it in. Yeah, you know.
And it's one of those things that, and I love that you said you worked in restaurants. I want to put it out there. Send your kids to work to restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would teach them so much. I have a 15-year-old, well, I'll say up here now.
Yeah.
A 15-year-old son, and he is a restaurant baby.
Yeah.
So he grew up in potatoes and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
breaking boxes. And he knows the respect and the value from the dishwasher
Yeah.
to the executive chef. There's no difference.
Right. You
It's a
treat
team,
everybody the
right?
same.
Thank you. It
Everyone
is a
has value in a
Yes.
restaurant, because if there's a single person out, it's
You-
not going to
you're
work.
feeling it,
Right.
yeah.
It's not going to
And
work.
you learn respect. You learn how to love not so nice people.
Yeah.
But we're surrounded by not so nice people lately, and thanks to the internet, everybody, they have even their own names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now it's just, I rather people come to me and say, you know what, this wasn't up to par. And I'm like,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Let me make it better.
Yeah.
But it's about a communication, a great relationship with your customers, with your vendors. And 13 years later, almost 14, I'm still
Still here.
knock
Yeah.
on wood.
Well,
Very hard.
and a book coming too. I mean,
And a
all
book,
the
yeah.
things.
And other projects that I cannot talk about because I don't want to
That's
get
okay.
fined.
Oh, well, I mean.
They made me sign.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we don't want to
Well,
get you fined.
secrets to come maybe in the
Yes.
future here.
Yes, you will turn certain channels on TV and you will see me.
Okay, better
Okay.
be 13 News.
Yeah.
With the
Yes.
announcement of what's coming.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
I'll
You'll
come.
come back.
Okay.
I'll
Come back.
come. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Give us
I'll
the
give you
announcement.
yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yes, thank you very
Well,
much.
thank
for
you so
having me.
much. You're such an inspiration to so
That's a
many
big
people.
word.
You are.
No.
Very
I'm
humble
just-
too, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I just love what I do.
Yeah.
And I respect who helps me to do it. And that's it. You know, arriba Mexico, arriba Latina America. Thank you, ladies, for giving me this space. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, we want to end by taking a live look outside today, just looking out at that beautiful and cloudless day, triple digits ahead of us. But if you live in southern Arizona, you know that 100 degrees is way different than 111. So that's good news heading into your weekend. Of course,
Exactly.
be safe if you are tailgating this weekend. Drink a liquid IV, hydrate, put on sunscreen, do
You're
all the
gonna
things.
need it, right?
Absolutely. Bear down, go Aggies, whoever else you're rooting for, except for Alabama, and have a great weekend.
Yes, thank you so much for watching. Tune in at 2:30 for more news and weather. Happy Friday, everyone.